He's leaving Hull Kingston Rovers at the end of the season, leaving them in a financially good position, which is important. It seems in the last few years when people have left clubs not quite in the same position as Neil Hudgell, they've been held up as some kind of great people. But it seems in this case, Neil Hudgell and what he's done at Hull KR, having got them promoted and having been relegated and stuck by them and kept the club on a financial even keel, he's the kind of person we should be celebrating and saying, bloody hell, what have we done to push him out of the sport?
I think the statement he gave said at the end of it, he hopes that he's leaving the club in a better state than when he arrived, and clearly he is. To write off all his debts, to leave them in the Super League, to leave them in a stadium that has come on leaps and bounds in the time that he's been in charge, and the possibility of becoming financially self-sufficient just by buying the land around it as well. There's still this debate about how sustainable they are as a Super League force. But clearly he stuck by them through the hardest times when they got relegated. He's done a fantastic job. He's always stood up for their cause. I think even when you look at the whole debate about Toronto, where he was railing against we're in the arms of a single investor, and he was pretty much the same thing for Hull KR. I don't think you can question his loyalty to the club, his desire for the club to do well, the money, the personal money that he and his family have put into it. He's tried to buy the best players that were available to him. You can nitpick over the period and say not enough young kids have come through, but is that an issue more for the city of Hull than it is Hull Kingston Rovers? I think, if they don't name a trophy or build a statue to him or name a stand after him, then they're not doing him his contribution justice.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I hope we haven't pushed him away, as you suggested there, Richard, although we've probably turned a few people off. I don't know whether that extends to Neil. I just, you get the sense from the press release, somebody pretty much said it, didn't he, that he's sort of had enough, really, and it's getting a bit stressful. And you do obviously worry that it's going to be increasingly so in the current situation. It's easy to think that we sort of survived coronavirus by getting back on the field, and after the 5 months away to be back, feels like we've sort of slightly overcome it. But if it does kill us or set us back, it's going to be a slow and painful one. I think the effects are going to be long lasting and over a long period of time. You do worry that Neil Hudgell's sort of seen it coming and wondering, have I got the energy for this? Have I got the money for this? Crucially, how many more times can I dig my hand into my pocket and bail this club out when it seems clear to everyone that the financial status of the game is only going one way right now, unless we can get ourselves a fantastic TV deal next time,
Or Papa John's pay up.
Yeah.
Where's Big T when you need them? Oh no, they're not interested. The problem is, Phil, isn't it, is that there aren't enough people who like rugby league who are extremely rich, and we have too many people involved who pretend to be rich and are shown quickly that they're not. And to lose someone like Neil at a club like Hull KR, I mean, Steve has asked on Twitter earlier, will they find another benefactor willing to plough the amount of money needed into the club? And that's got to be the question that a lot of Hull KR fans are asking themselves tonight. I've seen one name mentioned on Twitter, which is the obvious one I'm not going to name. If he had money, he's had plenty of chances to set up all his millions of clubs, and he hasn't. So
it's not Richard Branson, though.
What was he doing on that RFL video, by the way?
Waving to the crowd at Wembley when he led his team out in jeans and then got the letter from Richard Lewis and walked away.
World record point scorer not on there.
Richard Branson?
Bailout Branson's on there.
I mean, whoever does buy Hull KR, he could not have left it in a better position. You know, he's not asking for any return on his investment, so they're effectively debt free. They get a year's worth of Sky money at its current rate coming in 2021, minus the 300,000 that we already know every club is going to be paying back for matches shown. So effectively, that is your salary cap. My worry is the worry for the game as a whole. I think that Paul's already sort of more than alluded to. Is they're very different animals, but Toronto and Hull KR have existed on the generosity of benefactors who are dealing in completely different markets. They've handled their clubs in completely different ways, but we're losing both of them. And the worry for me, if I was interested in buying into any club at the moment, would be, what does the picture look like in 2022? Because if we do assume that the television deal may well be less, and the likelihood is that it won't be much of a negotiation if there is only one party involved. So let's be realistic about it and say that the very best we could hope for would be the same, not more. And the same as you know, for some clubs has proved to be not quite enough, then that would be the concern. I think that, again, not every issue we've ever spoken about, what do we want Super League to look like? Where's the next generation of talent coming through? You know, all of that is highlighted by when somebody like Neil Hudgell says, I can't take this any further. Because if he can't, you worry how many other owners might say the same thing. And yes, of course it's a concern, but it all revolves around money, and we don't generate enough.